Hey guys, so in this video we'll be talking about how to create a form, and this will be a two-part series where in the first in this video, as I shared, I will be showing how to create a form, and then in the second part I'll be showing how to validate it properly. So in this we'll be looking on authentication form. So we'll be taking email and OTP for authentication, and via that will be validating the email and OTP from the validation form. So I'll be showing how you can validate it. So let's get started. Yeah. So now we'll be starting with adding forms. So for adding the forms, first of all, we'll have to start with writing forms, forms colon, and now the form name. So by doing two spaces and then uh, writing the form name, let's say auth form. I'll keep this auth form because I want to specify that it is a form. So like this, and then I'll say dash and type as I'll use as right now. I'll be take it as text, and I'll work on this afterwards. And also one more thing I just forgot to add is the slot name. So for this it's email, and I'll just move this forward, yeah, just like this. And now I'll ask for OTP. So OTP will be number, but for this I'll use from text. So I'll show you why currently I'm using this, and afterwards I'll also show you what you can use for this both of them. So I added them, and just like that I have to add their utters. So for adding the utters, I'll say utter ask whatever the slot name is. So for this it's email, so I'll use it as email. So the pattern is like this. So utter, then underscore, there should be ask, and then underscore your slot name. So like just like this. So it should look like this. And if you have like let's say email has been used by multiple forms, so what you have to do is just after ask you have to add your form name. So let's say mine is auth form, and I'm using it somewhere else like for profile update. Yeah, so there'll be profile update form, then the slot name, like this. So I'll say as text, can you please provide me email id, uh, specifically saying as your email id. Okay, just like this. And for OTP I'll say ask OTP, and I'll say text as I just first we can say like thank you for providing email id. Can you please share OTP? Oh, OTP. I just send that to your mail ID. Just like this. So we are also working on user experience. So user feel good for like, yeah, they got the email ID. So now they are asking me OTP, and now we'll be adding slots for the same. So slots and their name. So currently it's email, so I'll say email, and then the space and type will be text, just like this. And it's sure first of all in this new version, so when you start Rasa X, at that time it will say it as true influence conversation. So we don't want to influence any conversation. What does influence conversation means, I'll uh, go into that detail in the slots video which I'll be creating. And till then, keep it as false if you don't want to influence any kind of conversation. And then OTP, which will be currently, it will be text, and influence conversation as false. Okay, so just like this, I created a slot for OTP and email. So right now I'll be adding inform as an intent. So to do that, I will add this into inform. So I add this into intents. So going into the nlu.yml, and last section I'll add it intent inform. So what does inform do? So it's specifically for email, OTP, like that kind of stuff. So because of that, it we don't have to create multiple intents for each and every slots. So let's say you want OTP, and also it represents some kind of number, and also for email ID. So you can provide it right here. It will see to it that it represents here. So make sure you give more examples so that it can do it. So I'll write me at the rate gmail.com. Then here is my email ID as hello@mail.com. So it just needs some kind of data to recognize it. That's why example@mail.com, jojo@yahoo.com, and then I'll add OTP as 1234 809, like this. This is OTP which I see. You can add multiple things right here. So I'm just providing him training data so that it can recognize it. Okay, so here I have intent for the inform, and now I'll use duckling for recognizing emails and numbers. So what I have to do, just right here in the config.yml, I have to uncomment this, and I have to bring this. You can use middle mouse button to get this all selected, and then you can indent to the indentation. So I'll just use a middle button and delete this part, and same goes for you, just like this. So I was here and talking about duckling entity extractor. So right now we'll be adding it. So to do that, we'll be adding as duckling entity extractor and not HTTP extractor, because HTTP extractor has been deprecated, and I think will be deprecated, whatever. I got a warning, so that's why. So I'll use HTTP local host. We'll be using 8000 port for this, and then I'll use dimension. So what is dimension? So dimension is which entity we want to extract. So we will be extracting email and number. So for this we have to add like this. Okay, so this both are entities, so we have to specify it in domain. So for doing that, we have to add it as entities and name it right here. Okay, just like this. So now we have added this, and also as I said, we have to add it authentication. I have to write the rule. Actually, we did write the rule, and we want to add this authentication inside nl.yml. So for doing that, we have to add it right here, intent, intent name, and then examples, just like this. And we'll say, can you can you please make me login? How do I log in? Can you authenticate my account and then log in? Then authenticate. Oh, so probably the last one which will I be adding is log me in, just like this. So now I have to add this inside domain right below inform. So I'll add this, and then right here I have to change, we have to add this email and number inside this so that it can recognize it. So I'll change from text to from entity, so it will extract from entity, and we don't have to probably verify it, kind of, yeah. So you don't have to verify the email, but still I'd say for um, validation, kind of, you should do that. Say, so now there's entity, so I'll use email as this, and for OTP I'll be using number. So now from entity, and it will be number. Oh, oops. I just messed it. It's entity. Okay, so just like this, captured OTP and email. So now we have to write actions. So for doing that, I'll just uncomment this and we'll be modifying it just like this. Just okay, keeping like this and uncommenting the input statements. Okay, it's done. So now we have to change this name to authenticated action, and right here action authenticated. Okay, so now what we'll be checking is, if we have got email which is equal to from tracker dot get slot function, we'll be getting our email. So just like this, and for OTP will be tracker dot get slot, which will be OTP. We'll be checking if email is not none and OTP is not none. We'll be dispatching another message, which will be another message using a template. So right now I'll be showing you like how to create utter with this all slots. So template will be utter authenticated successfully, and inside else will be dispatching another message from just right here. We'll be saying as utter authentication failure. Okay, so we'll be starting with authenticated successfully. So inside domain, copy that first of all, and paste it right here, the name, and now you can type your message, whatever you want to. I'll say as thank you for providing information. I have authenticated you successfully. Your your email ID is in the curly brace and email. So it will look for this email and then fill it right away. And now what you have to do is from the action we'll copy this name so that we don't have any kind of typo mistake, and just right here paste it. And now I'll be saying yes, sorry, I wasn't able to authenticate you. Please check if any information. Please check. Please check if your provided information is correct or not. So just like this, but right now, as you can see that we are not specifically saying which information is correct or not. So I'll be showing you this in the next part where I'll be showing you how to validate this email and OTP. So right now I'll be focusing on creating a form first of all, so that you know how to create a form. So now it's I think we are almost done. Yes, we are done actually. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be writing a rule for this. The final rule where we'll be deactivating this thing. So or submit form. Okay, so now there will be condition where we'll be providing it as, where the condition will be active loop is auth form. Okay, and now the steps will be as there will be an action auth form, and if active loop becomes null, so we have to do is action, actually action authenticated, just like this. So we have completed a rule section, and now we have to add this action onto the domain file. This is final step before we start training this. So actions and name is right here. So now open the terminal. Make sure you um, use proper Rasa version for this. I'm currently using, let me show you itself which version, so that there will be kind of question for this. Yeah, sometimes it takes time, so you have to wait for that. Okay, so here I have, there's no Rasa X version. I haven't installed it on this particular environment. So there's Rasa version 2.1.2. So now I'll do Rasa train. So starts training.
Many months later.
And because of the less NLU and the data, it won't take much time for this, because the main section is this right here for the diet classifier. So sometimes it takes time when you have much more NLU data.
A few inches later.
So yeah, it did completed a training, and right now we'll be starting with shell. So for that, first of all, make sure you turn on Docker on your machine. So let me. Alright, so I just started Docker on my machine by restarting my. So now what I'll do is run Docker duckling image, which is Docker and dash p, which will run on 8000 port. So just write it like this, and then Rasa duckling, and this will start Rasa duckling server. Okay, so Yeah, it's already running currently. I think I might have to turn it off. Okay, so now I'll start the dubbing server again so that I can show you guys how it looks like. Okay, so it started. So now I'll use another command prompt and we'll start Rasa shell. Okay, so first of all you need to activate your conda environment. So do this, and on the second one I'll do conda activate Rasa 2, and right here I'll first of all run Rasa actions so that I can access it. Uh, right. Okay, so right here I'll run Rasa shell. Let's see if action is started. Okay, so it might take time sometimes, so I have to wait for it. Okay, so there's an indentation issue. So let's see. Oh, so I fixed that and now I can run it. Okay, so it wasn't saved, so that's why it did that. So now we can move on to our previous shell. So it's currently loading the model, so let it load. Okay, so now I'll say again hi login and type email ID which is not inside train data, and it still recognizes it. So now I'll say just like this 33 whatever. Okay, so it was able to successfully authenticate my account, and yeah, it worked. So it's pretty easy to start with the form. So now in the next video I'll show you how you can verify this with your own database, and also the OTP which is provided inside your database. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. So uh, comment me any kind of issue you have, and also make sure you like, share and subscribe this video. And yeah, that's it. See you in the next video. Till then, bye.